Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Altcoin Bosses. Today's video is just to summarize a number of altcoins that are looking like they are preparing to do something. All right. Now, given with what's going on in the marketplace, most of the altcoins are coming away from what looks like a big pattern. Okay, most of them seem to be following the behavior of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the best way for you to understand where you are in relation to the actual altcoins, Bitcoin and Ethereum itself, you're looking at the market caps themselves. Okay, so ideally what you want to do is you want to split the chart up in such a way, if you do have that ability, to actually have and pay attention to the total market cap across all three segments. So we need to pull up the actual total market cap for cryptocurrency, and then you've got this chart right here which excludes Bitcoin, and then you've got this altcoin chart which excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now you can see across all three screens itself, charts themselves, they are all looking like they're forming a W formation, trying to come away from the zone. Problem is, the market cap, the main chart itself, can see that the 200 EMA seems to be a little bit of a resistance point. Okay, now that's on the hourly, and this is also, let me just roll up the hourly right here and pull up the hour on here as well. Okay, the only chart that's showing strength towards the 200 EMA is this chart right here, which includes Ethereum and the altcoins. All right, so what you really want to be looking for, ladies and gentlemen, is you're looking for altcoins that are performing and reflecting what the total market cap is doing, okay, in relation to excluding Bitcoin. All right, so we're going to go over to the charts and we're going to break down which coins are mimicking this sort of behavior at the 200 EMA. All right, now guys, if you are new to the channel, mad love and respect for passing through. If you have just recently subscribed, guys, this segment of the channel just talks about altcoins that are potentially showing pattern formations and certain ways of actually trying to find out which altcoins are going or preparing to make some moves. We spoke about in the last video looking for altcoins based on the ecosystem that they are coming from. Okay, so for hypothetically, if you were to consider looking at the Polygon ecosystem, you can see over the past 7 days it's gone up by 75%. Even Avalanche itself has gone up by 670%. So principle would say that you'd be looking for coins within this ecosystem that are actually reflecting this sort of behavior and try and break down as to why so much interest is coming in to this ecosystem itself. So is it all to do with gaming? You know, you want to be focusing on gaming tokens. This breakdown, or should I say this type of this category itself on CoinGecko, is a great way for you to understand where the flow of liquidity is going based on the ecosystem of specific coins. Okay, cool. So looking at this chart itself, we can see that it wants to come up towards the let me just get the total market cap too. Here you go. It's at smack bang at the 200 EMA, waiting to try and see if we can take out yesterday's high. Okay, so let's actually look at the coins themselves and the altcoin bosses and see which coins are actually reflecting this sort of behavior. Now, I've always said it before, guys, when you look at these altcoins, now I may not have all the altcoins on here, but these are the altcoins that you guys have recommended for me to put into the chart, into this watch list. All right, now it's very tempting to come and have a look at the top performing coins. Quite frankly, you may have missed the move. And the only reason I'm saying that is not because, well, Tino, how do you not know that from 12% now, it's going to actually go and make higher gains and end up finishing at 24% for the day? Well, guess what? We won't know that. All right? I'm not going to know that. What I do know is coins that are coming up with like the 2 to 3% gains, all right, are the ones that are above their daily open by 2%. Right, so that then tells me that if they can stay above their daily open, then there could be a potential move which could actually see the coin increasing and going further away from its daily open. In other words, they've tested the daily open and traders are agreeing that they want to see price move away from the daily open because that is where they initially started off their move. Whether the move itself started from price being below the daily open and they've come up and finished positive. Okay, so here's an example. So let me just let's actually pull up MATIC for a second. Where is MATIC? I just saw MATIC. There we go. So MATIC is up 2.59%. So let's look at the chart itself. All right. Now you can see, look, it's come away from its daily open. So when it opened last night, it traded below, quite a strong move to the downside, and then it traded all the way back up away from the daily open. Now they've pulled it back down, spiked the low, tested the 13 EMA, and now they're trying to pull away from the daily open itself. Okay, now when you look at MATIC itself, you can see that we've got a beautiful pattern formation right here, guys. Absolutely wonderful. And the criteria has been set, okay, because the second leg is higher than the first leg. And they have actually come down and recovered most of the wick itself. So the imbalance may be established, okay, but now we've got another imbalance right here, which is likely to be visited at some point, which matches up with the previous liquidity right here. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, if they are going to make this move to the upside, I would expect at least another attempt to the downside, the third hit to the low, for them to really grab the liquidity one more time to make the move back up again. Because everyone right now has stepped in. Because everyone has just been thrown about with the previous price action that has happened from last week. Everyone is exhausted, everyone's liquidated, no one has any money, and now the market is giving people a reason to believe that now is a good time to step back in. What a great time to grab shorts at the highest possible point for the market maker. Now, whenever you see a W formation, you are waiting for the W formation to lock. That is what you're waiting for. And the way your peak formation locks is when they pull back down, they come down and test the first range, which would be the 50 EMA in this zone right here. Now, the test back down could be as deep as this vector candle point right here. And it can even come down to this point right here. And then they'll be able to see a potential reversal back up to the upside if that is what their intention is at this zone. All right. And if they do decide to come down to this point right here, the peak formation will be locked, and that would be a rise level 1 retrace continuation to the upside to break out towards a level 2 rise. Okay, remember, this is what we look for. We look for this cyclical move: rise up, retrace level 1, rise level 2, retrace, rise level 3, peak formation, and the same goes on the way back down again: level 1, level 2, level 3, peak formation, back up. This is the cyclical pattern that we are waiting for. All right. But as I said to you before, this move has just happened too quick, okay? It's too much of a fast move coming out of the zone. I don't trust it. That's my opinion. No financial advice, all right? Second coin that we want to be paying attention to. So we start moving up a little bit. Let's have a look at 1 inch. Now 1 inch, the same with all the other altcoins itself. You can see that they're coming up above the 50 EMA and pulling back right now to test the intention of this range. Remember when I was saying to you over on the weekend on the Sunday stream, ideally I want price to go back to the 50, not the 50 to go back to price. Because price has just stayed in this boring range right here, and the 50 EMA has come down and met up with price. Now we've got no volatility in the chart. We're just waiting for them to actually make the move. Okay, so sit tight with 1 inch and wait to see for confirmation if they do decide to try and break out and make a movement towards the 200 EMA. All right, Solana 202. Now this is a very strong coin. I believe Solana behaves like Ethereum sometimes, where it likes to respect the ranges. Okay, now looking at Solana, you can see bright as day that they have done a good job of coming back down to recover the previous wick. Now this is a common thing. Every one of the altcoins seems to have come back down and recovered the wick, but Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't done that. What is the story? Are we likely to see Bitcoin and Ethereum later on recover that wick? Is that what is going to happen? Because for every W formation that has appeared, and for every altcoin that has formed a W formation, there seems to be a wick right at the lows right here. If you don't believe me, let's have a look at Bitcoin over here for a split second. Check this out. If you remember when Bitcoin made its move, give me a second. Right, so, where is it? Okay, then. If we go back to Bitcoin when it actually, here we go, look at this. So when they actually formed this drop to the downside with Bitcoin, all right, we were waiting for them to recover the previous wick, and they did just that. Okay, they stayed here. The 50 EMA came down to price. Price didn't go to the 50, and then they dropped down lower, recovered the wick. Then they formed this wick and moved away from the zone. And then they recovered that wick. Could this behavior in Bitcoin be reflected in the altcoins as well? Look what's going on MATIC. Same story with MATIC right now. All right. If you see, we have got the wick right here, which they've sort of recovered. And then we've got this wick right here. And then this bigger part of the wick down here as well. could we see one more drop to the downside before they actually finalize and try and bring everything back up again? We need to keep an eye out. All right? Be careful when you're trading, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I say to you, pay yourself. Now, this is in relation to all the swing traders out there. If you're going to be a swing trader, be prepared for drawdown. Swings. That's the name of your game. Swing traders are about this. Okay? They're about getting in at this point right here, seeing a bit of profit and then waiting for it to continue. And then they see it drop all the way down to their entry point. They then say, you know what, I'm going to get back in again and add to the position because I believe it's going to continue up. They start adding more positions. Price continues back up again and they think they're the best traders and then it comes back down again. I believe that the swing trader, hands down, is probably so prone to emotional chaos in trading. Okay? Very prone to it. And it does take a different kind of trader or mindset to be able to withstand the treachery that comes with swing trading, which is why I will always endorse the idea of small, day trading, because I'm in and I'm out and I haven't got to worry about craziness in the chart. Okay? That's a question that could be debated. What's better, scalping or swing trading? If you have an opinion on that, put it in the comments and let's start a conversation, and then whatever is discussed in those comments, I will actually do a video having that discussion and debate it out for you guys. All right, now let's have a look at what other coins are actually doing. Okay, so CRV, look, you can see everything is just above the 50 EMA. No clear breakaway from the zone, but it looks like the moving averages are starting to come into our favor. You can see the 5 and 13 EMA is above the 50 EMA. That's the first classification to establish momentum. What we need now is price to actually start pushing away from that zone. We looked at one's doing very well. You can see right there it's going up and it's trading above the 5 and 13 EMA and the 50, and the 5 and 13 are expanding. So this is the criteria of what we want to see when we are actively looking for altcoins coming away from a certain zone. Okay, now I always say to you guys, have a look at these areas right here, but it's also important to look at altcoins that are losing so you can understand where they're losing from. Okay, so Gala. Look, Gala is performing low, but you can see bright as day that they are actually trying to form a base from and around the 800 EMA and below the 200. So it looks like Gala could try, okay, and make a move back up because the 200 and the 50 are quite close to each other. So we are waiting for volatility to come into the chart. All right, if they do achieve that movement from this point right here, then we could see the range weekly high and towards the range daily high. Maybe not in this session, but we could see it actually drifting up to the upside and try and form a base around the 200 EMA. If they break above the 200 EMA, wait for them to retrace back down to test it, and then continuation to the upside. Principally, that's the sort of pattern that we are waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it happens or not is a different story, but we do have a mini pattern right here. So from the second leg of the W formation, rise up, hits the 200, retrace. Now we're going to see if they are going to continue back up to test the intention of the 200 EMA, because the 200 EMA seems to be a little bit of a block towards Gala. All right. Now, what you want to do, guys, is you want to pay attention to Gala. Reason being is because when it does break above the 200 EMA, considering that this coin has had a lot of support in, and the fact that the previous peak that they moved away from is actually lower than the actual peak that we are at right now, that could imply that support is stepping into this coin right here. All right, so just keep an eye out on that. Whilst we're looking at that, I'm going to wait and see what the actual book flow of Gala is, so I can just get that over to you guys so you understand where we stand with Gala in terms of orders across the board. So whilst that's working out right there, here we go. So I'm just going to zoom out, and here we go. So this is where the liquidity is at right now for Gala. You can see the 0.513 has got a lot of liquidity up there, and we've got the 0.5 mark with a lot of liquidity there also, but the book map is not showing any imbalance. All right, a lot of volume but no imbalance in the chart, so it doesn't favor either direction. What we're waiting for is we're waiting for price to actually show strength to actually break up to upside. Look what's going on. You can see all the orders that are being placed. They're trying to get the best feel for this coin, and the principle will say that these areas right here, okay, will start to induce traders. Look at that. They will literally test traders' intention. Okay, little gap down right there, recover the gap right here just to break the imbalance. There's the previous gap filled right there, and now they're coming back up to test these guys right here who previously placed orders, and they're going to try and start coming in here, which would then induce price to continue higher. Okay, so that's how we use the bookmap, guys. If you want to get access to the bookmap, just go to Google and type in bookmap.com and check out what you can take advantage of on that platform. They've got a free version, and then they've got a premium version, and they've got a version that is exclusively for crypto. So go check that out, bookmap.com. All right, cool. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this actually puts things into perspective for you. And that's a quick update with altcoins and how to approach the altcoins across the board. So, you know, a couple of winners that we had from last week now are actually trying to form base. Look, Sand and Gala game coins seem to be doing exactly the same thing. So keep an eye out. The same principle I said to you about Gala is the same thing with Sand as well. So just keep an eye out on the coins, game coins. Just keep an eye out on how they are performing based on the way they are behaving in and around these zones. Now, guys, remember, although we do have this floating price with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's just I don't like the idea of it because I'm not really seeing conviction by the market maker. You understand? I want to see the market maker using these sort of vector candles in these sort of zones right here to pressurize price to move higher, to induce people to commit. Right now, it just looks like the retail trader is having a free roam to push price higher. So all these guys that are trading right here are the guys that are on YouTube working out which video is saying to them to go long. Okay? So always maintain the idea of adding caution to caution and confluence to confluence, and do not enter in marginal situations. If you automatically think straight after you place your trade that you don't think it's actually going to go anywhere, if your if your position hasn't realized a return within 2 hours of opening the trade, cut the trade, preserve your capital, because that's what it's all about. The idea is to stay in the game, not to see how long it's going to take you to lose your cash. All right? Mad love and respect to all of you. Make sure you pass through to today's live at 2 p.m. Take care of yourselves. Peace.